Welcome back. This is Teresa with Bear Creek Felting. In this episode, we are going to learn how to turn this roving into your first needle felting project, a simple ball. You'll only need three things: a bit of wool, a felting needle, and a felting cushion. So you're going to start by pulling off just a handful of wool. When you're pulling roving apart, you don't want to have your hands right close together. You put your hands apart a ways and then it just pulls apart. So take your wool roving and roll it up tightly. If it's rolled up tightly, it will felt together faster. Now you can roll it around in the palm of your hand, just a little bit. That kind of sticks it together. So the needle has little barbs, but the little barbs only go up so far on the needle. So you don't have to stick it in very far to get results. Just short, quick little stabs. Notice that I'm rolling the ball around while I'm poking. This will help it keep its round shape. I'm using my Bear Creek felting wool, and I'm using a size 38 cross star. You can felt with just the needle. I do have a holder that I'm using right now just to make it more comfortable. So once you start poking the needle into the wool, those little notches or the barbs are pulling the wool into itself, but not back out again. And so what is happening on each tiny little hair of the fiber, there's tiny little scales. And while you're poking it in, it's locking it together. So the more you poke the needle in and the more you pull more wool in, the more firm it's going to get. You need to be careful of where your fingers are so you don't poke yourself. As you're felting, you can feel it making it more firm. And you can see it smoothing out the wool as you stab it. The ball is going to shrink down as you felt. Don't ever want to look away while you're needle felting, especially when you're working this closely to your fingers. It's very easy to stab yourself. Important to keep moving the ball and turning it while you're felting. You can see it's keeping its round shape, and at this point, after I think it's been 5 minutes of felting, I can still squeeze it, but I would like it to be firmer. As I can show you, if I squeeze it a lot, you can see it stays that shape. So it's not completely round. And I don't like that. Because if I'm making a sculpture, I don't want it to change its shape. So I'm going to keep going. I often get asked, how do you know when you're done? How do you know when it's felted enough? So the main things to look for is it doesn't have little hairs poking out all over. It's pretty smooth. And another thing to look for is, especially for me, I like them to be quite solid. And not everybody does. And if you're just making a ball, or you're making a garland, or something that it's not important if it keeps its shape perfectly, then this would be good enough. Definitely good enough. But like I said, I can still squish it, and well, look, it's bouncing back. It's getting better. I don't know if you can see the parts on here where you can see the little pieces. This is where it needs felted more. The more you felt, the smoother it will get. And you can see where I'm felting, it's indenting a little bit. And that's another sign that it's not felted enough for my standards. So you can see how smooth it is, and if you try and squish it, I can't really squish it. If you and it didn't lose its shape. So that's how you get a smooth ball that holds its shape and can be the beginning of your project. From here on out, you could be wrapping wool around and making it bigger. You just wrap more wool around, and if you have a solid base, it makes it that much easier and faster to add more wool. If you can make a good felted ball, you can make almost anything. Every animal and sculpture starts with this shape. It's the foundation for heads, bodies, and more. In our next video, we'll talk about the wool itself and what kinds work best and how to choose good fiber for felting. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it, and check the links below if you'd like to try one of my beginner kits. See you in the next video.